Let's take a minute to discuss breathing in labor. So research actually shows that breathing techniques in labor on their own do not decrease the discomfort of labor contractions. However, it's possible that when paired with other measures for comfort during labor, we wind up using breath as part of a larger network of techniques that helps us to decrease discomfort. So when we're talking about breathing techniques in labor, we're not talking about patterned breathing that we often associate with old school childbirth education. Instead, we're talking more about a conscious breathing technique. And this is the type of breath that one might do in a yoga class. If you're holding a challenging pose in yoga and you're feeling that tension build in your body, you might slow your breathing down in an attempt to reduce the release of adrenaline and the release of stress hormones in the body. So it's that type of breath that we really want to focus on during labor. So when we're thinking about how to do this breath in labor, ideally we want to be thinking about long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. So these long, slow inhales come in through the nose, and then we exhale out through the mouth. And when we exhale through the mouth, we want to try to lengthen that exhale so it's a few seconds longer than our inhales. So maybe our inhales are 2 seconds and our exhales are 4 seconds long. Research shows that when we lengthen the exhale, we actually decrease the amount of tension that we're holding in our body and decrease feelings of anxiety. So this is a really effective way to breathe in labor, in through the nose and out through the mouth with longer, slower exhales. Now, why are we breathing in the nose and out the mouth? This is another important part of breathing techniques. The muscles of our jaws and our throats are connected through the abdominal muscles to the muscles of our pelvic floors. And generally, when we clench our jaw, we actually tuck our tailbone in slightly as well. So the tailbone is at the very end of the spine. So a tight jaw leads to a coccyx or tailbone that tilts in towards the pubic bones. This contracts the pelvic floor muscles and actually decreases just slightly the amount of space that we allow at the pelvic outlet. So ensuring that we keep our jaws nice and loose helps to ensure that our abdominal muscles stay as relaxed as possible, and that our pelvic floor muscles can also stay as relaxed as possible. So in order to help keep your jaw relaxed during labor, there are a few different ways you can do this. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth is one way. Other people find it really effective to actually touch their tongue to the roof of their mouth, and this keeps you from being able to clench your jaw. Ina May Gaskin, a really well-known midwife, she suggests doing horse lips, which is like to help relax the jaw and relax the mouth. You may also find that it's effective to have a support person do some jaw massage. And if worse comes to worse and you really feel that need to clench your jaw, I would suggest chewing on ice chips. At least that way you're clenching and releasing rather than holding a clenched jaw. So those are a few ways that we can help to keep the muscles of the jaw and the throat relaxed. In addition to this, there are other ways that you can use breath to help make labor more manageable as well. Conditioning yourself to slow your breathing at the touch of your partner is a really great way to also help decrease tension in the body during labor. It could be your birth partner, it could be a friend, it could be a doula, it could be another support person. But conditioning yourself in pregnancy to use their touch as a way to control your breath is really helpful. So how might we do this? We might encourage our support people to do long, slow circles on our backs in pregnancy, and we try to time our breathing with those circles. So we might do inhale as the circle comes up, and then an exhale as the circle comes down. Another way you could do this is to have a partner or support person do some neck and shoulder massage. And as they're doing that neck and shoulder massage, you can close your eyes and start focusing on those long, slow inhales and even longer, slower exhales. This way we're associating that touch, that massage, with those longer, slower breaths. Another way that you could do this is with a directed breathing exercise. A support person could stand behind the laboring person with their hands gently supporting the lower belly of the laboring person, or if we're practicing this in pregnancy, it would be the pregnant person. And then partners or support people can just apply some gentle pressure on the lower belly, and then we can have the person that is pregnant or laboring, again, focus on their breath and try to really draw their breath all the way down into their support person's hands. And that way we focus the breath down into the body, which helps to encourage us to take those long, slow breaths and helps to prevent that breath from being stuck in our shoulders, more like that. That's what we want to avoid. We want to really focus our breath down low into our body. So those are a few different ways that you can use breathing techniques to both condition yourself to be more in control of your breath during labor, and then also to actually encourage yourself to become familiar with those long, slow breaths that are most helpful during the labor process. And what research shows is that breath can be helpful when we incorporate it into other comfort techniques as well. So we might do breath with massage, or breath with counter pressure, or breath with movement, breath with position changes. So breathing is a really important part of labor, and we need to remember to breathe, but we don't necessarily rely solely on breathing to help us get through the process. We incorporate it with other techniques. Really, the takeaway is going to be long, slow breaths, remembering to breathe, letting your contraction build up with those long breaths. Possibly you breathe a little more shallowly at the peak, and then back to those long, slow breaths as the contraction ends. And in between contractions, we want to make sure we keep our bodies as relaxed as possible, and we encourage just normal breathing so that we don't tire ourselves out and use up all of our energy reserves too early on.